Strongly encourage people. That's a break.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Encourage people to shut it off at the curb stop.
How long has this person not been in this house?
Maybe I'm ready.
Okay, so something goes on.
Let's go. Linda. Yes. Okay, welcome everyone. I hope everybody saw some faces. We're at the Taste of St. James, one that weren't. You missed a good, all the vendors, excellent food and excellent turnout, excellent vendors. So thank you to all of the St. James businesses that participate in the Taste of St. James, all of the sponsors that put it on, and all of the workers that are there, the staff that put it on. So thank you on behalf of the council and myself and the community for doing that. Okay, your consideration for approval of the minutes. Don.
Second.
Don. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and Josh abstains, 401. Consent items 5A and B, any questions? You, none?
Pardon me?
Any questions?
Oh, no.
Okay. Motion by Paul. Second by Mike, any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried unanimous. Go down to licenses and permits, 11A, special water and sewer license. Joe?
CNA Services are requesting a water and sewer license.
What do they have? What do they do?
Corey Cease
Okay, that's for you.
is putting in a basement for the houses.
North side.
And everything is in order.
Very good, okay. And for 11A, Mike, is there a second? Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Application for display of fireworks.
This is a request to issue a permit for the fireworks display on the 4th of July, and a request to waive the permit fee. And a special thank you to the VFW and the VFW auxiliary and for the St. James Fire Department. Over the system.
They generously have done that for 10 or 15 years. It's over $6,600 for the fireworks. So make sure you thank the members of the VFW and the VFW auxiliary for doing that as well. Motion by Nani, is there a second? Paul, any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimous. Okay, 13A. 13A, it's on the handout tonight. We don't have anything, I'm sorry, okay? It's only one we got it.
Mr. Coleman is
Yep.
here.
Request for reduction on utility bill, and May 16th, the water was, water was cut off at the curb. The meter was still in, and Stanley Cole will explain about this. I'll pass this around so you can look at it, okay? Go ahead,
Okay,
voice activated.
The bill for this last month there at residence at 930 4th Street South was abnormally high according to the previous month. And I'd like to wonder, I had a couple of guys from the city come down to the house a week ago, and I locked the house so they could come inside and look around, and then we turned the water back on and couldn't find any leaks. So I don't understand why the bill was so high compared to the previous month. And if we could get some reduction on that.
Anybody have an explanation? Sometime?
Jason and Steve, I believe it was, that went over when he was there.
Yep.
We had shut the water off previously a month before that, after we read the meters, because it was very high.
Off where?
Shut it off at the curb,
At the curb, okay,
because we were not able to get a hold of anybody.
okay,
So we thought in case, something was flooding, we would shut it down and try and get somebody. We hadn't been able to get a hold of them until they got the bill.
Okay,
They came and notified us, we went over. At the time, Jason checked the readings inside and out, they read the same. At that moment, there's a leak detect on that meter, it was not moving at that time.
okay.
So what happened, we have no idea.
Was it- go ahead.
Mark, you said you shut off the curb the month before?
When we read the meters on the 15th of, that would have been April,
And that's when you shut it off?
we shut it off like on the 16th or 17th. And nobody contacted us until they got their bill for that reading, for that month's usage.
So that was for April 15th to May 15th.
Correct.
Okay.
So was it continued off at the curb?
For 1 month,
Okay,
for approximately a month.
So now it's back on, if you turn it back on to curb?
Correct. When he came over, we turned it back on at the curb, and they wanted it left on, so we left it on. But there
And
was,
that was what, May, or, that this month,
yeah, what day was,
the 10th of June? So we don't have a month's reading then. We won't know for a month then if there's something.
at the time when we were over there and turned the water back on, the water was back to the house, and there was no water movement at that time. There was nothing running through the meter, nothing going through the toilets, the sinks, or anything like that. Everything was working properly.
so what's your hypothesis on what happened for 45 days, Mark?
The only things I can tell you is what we know from previous accounts is either the stool stuck and was running, the water softener will keep regenerating. Somebody came along, turned the faucet on the outside, shut it off. I mean, I don't know, that's just a guess.
But if it was off at the curb, Mark, how would it?
When it was
Prior,
off,
prior to
This is
turn it off.
prior to being shut off.
yeah, when it was off the curb, there was no usage. But prior to that, it could have been any of those things where the water went.
So it wasn't off at the curb when this bill came in for that. curb?
Correct. We shut it off as soon as we seen that it was high.
Okay.
And there was only 1 month that it had this problem.
Correct.
How long had it been since anybody had been home or in the house?
The owner of that house usually comes to Minnesota about once a month and checks the house, and then I check it, now that I'm mowing the lawn, I check it every week.
So something could have happened for that 45 days.
For that month or 45
Yeah.
days, something could have happened and nobody would have known it.
Yeah, that's true, something could have happened, nobody would have known. What it would have been, I have no clue.
Well, like you said, I mean, it could have been a stool that was running, the valve let go or whatever.
Or softener.
Softener stuck or what,
Adam?
Was there any electric usage at that time either, during that time, according to the bill?
we don't have.
Cause usually if they're using electricity, there's a good chance they're using water also. Cause you're not gonna be in there using electricity and not using a shower or,
Right.
you know, if somebody was just happened to be there for a week or two.
Yeah, that's true, but during that, from March sixth to April 18th, the person that owns that house, plus myself, we were on vacation for that length of time. So there was nobody in the house during that time period.
So it could have been a softener recharge or a toilet just kicked on.
Well, if the softener recharge, that would show up on the electric bill, because there's a motor that runs,
The toilet,
the toilet wouldn't know.
No, and that's a possibility. They do stick, and after so long, they will shut off. It doesn't take very long for water to run through a toilet and add up pretty fast.
we had a softener recharge of $1,100.
The softener is a new one.
Just like we went in apartments on the south side, and was having to catch it, wasn't on that long, it was $1,100 and some dollars of water. Steve, you have thoughts on this?
No, I really don't.
Well-
When nobody knows, it's not,
Right.
nobody appears to be at fault.
Have we checked the electrical bill?
But there was never a complaint on that.
No.
But we haven't checked it.
When we looked at the utility bill at the time, the electrical use looked the same as it had the prior
Oh, okay.
months when nobody else was there.
So there was some usage, just not abnormally.
Correct, I mean, you could have, turn a light on, you're gonna use a little, but not, you know,
Is there anything further that we should be checking or could check before a decision is made?
there's nothing else I can do. The meter is correct. The water went through the meter. Where it went, I do not know.
In previous situations, we have denied it. So it could set a precedent, Steve?
Well, I don't remember what the previous situations were. I don't know if you'd be setting precedent, nobody knows the cause of the incredibly high water bill. I think in previous situations, I knew there was something that was attributable to the owner or to the city. Here, I don't think there's either one.
Well,
Right?
there was, those prior ones, there was something that the property owner had done or failed to do
Failed to do
that caused the utility to skyrocket.
I believe that's correct, at least that's my recollection.
And if we can't pinpoint who's at fault, I mean, it's kind of hard.
Just one comment, when people do leave their houses, they should shut it off in the basement. That would eliminate any of those problems if they have a properly operating valve by the meter.
Mhm.
And then we wouldn't have the problem like that.
A lot of insurance companies will give you a tag.
Correct.
Right by your main valve.
Yep.
When you leave, shut her off.
Yep.
How did that go?
What's that?
How did that go?
Like that? I can get you one you want one.
Council wishes. Or is it, I'm sorry, is there anything you would need to, that you want to add, Stan?
I know, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Could there be a possibility that with the balance on the fuel, if we decide that we're not gonna do anything with it, could that be spaced out over X months in order to pay, or is that not a possibility? Because I think.
We already do that.
Okay.
As I indicated before the meeting, we've got a couple people that ended up with bills over $1,000.
Spread it out, so.
And we spread it out.
So it's easier to handle.
But if we're gonna do that, then we're making a decision that the property owner was at fault. We can't sit here and say that he was at fault, nothing points to that. So we either say you pay it or you don't pay it.
Or you split it or something?
I'd make a motion that we forgive the bill in this case,
100%?
100%.
So that's $392.
You gotta pay the
Well, there's
water
yeah,
and the wastewater? Or should they at least be paying the minimum charge,
right, we'd have to take
which
it
would be the base charge?
down.
Base charge, no usage.
So we have a number? Okay, so our motion is the base charge of the.
Everything over the basic, forgive everything over the basic monthly fee for non-usage.
There's a second to Don's
Second.
motion. Oh, okay, any further discussion? And the exact number will be what you're
Right,
going to
yeah.
figure out.
Right.
Anything above the basic charge. Any further discussion?
That bill is an automatic payment, so,
There'll be a credit on her bill.
okay. That's already paid, because it's an automatic payment.
We'll come back as a credit, so you have credit for a few months to,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Alright,
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0 unanimous. Anything over the basic charge, you'll still have the basic charge on that for vote.
Mhm.
Anything above that will be forgiven. And you'll have a credit on your account, and it'll just keep showing up until you get back to use it again.
Sure, okay.
All right? Thanks for coming to the meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just a big mystery.
13B, resolution accepting financial gift from VFW for the fireworks. It's resolution form. Josh,
Second.
Lonnie, any further discussion? All in favor, signify by show of hands. Opposed? Resolution passes 5-0 unanimous. Again, as you said before, thank you to the VFW and the auxiliary. There were 13C, Joe, resolution non-union pay plan, July 1st, 2013.
As I indicated at the January meeting, we were submitting our pay equity plan to the state, and we were found out of compliance. We did receive notification from the state that we are out of compliance. And we presented a new report with adjusting 3 classifications of female employees to the state, and they indicated that we would now be in compliance if the council adopted them. And what I've done is attached to this is a new pay schedule. July 1st, we're scheduled to do a 1% increase for all of our employees, so I've incorporated that for those employees at the same time. I need a resolution taking this amendment, Appendix A, as the new step system effective July 1. I will provide you a copy, just.
Council Richard,
Second.
resolution form, Mike? Yes.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by show of hands. Opposed? Resolution passes 5-0 unanimous. And this is a pay equity requirement by the state of Minnesota that we are out of compliance, so we have no choice but to do that. Just so everybody is fully aware of it, the state of Minnesota, I think Minnesota is the only state out of 50 states that has this pay equity plan. That should tell you something. Into my soapbox. 13D, street department, more bids, right?
Last Thursday, we opened bids on a new lawnmower for the park department. We received 3 quotes. One from New Ulm Tractor, one from Arnold's Implement out of Mankato, and one from Tri-County here in St. James. After tabulating all bids, Tri-County came in the lowest at $9,500 and some dollars.
What'd you have in the,
At $14,000 budgeted.
and we're switching the one you got to a different department, right?
That is
Take the old one in.
Quite a difference in the bid amount without the trade-in between the 3 of them. Shocked me, because John Deere in the last 4 bids has been high.
Yeah.
They really sharpened their pencils.
And that was an apples to apple.
Apples to
Commercial.
apples, commercial mower, diesel engines, the same, virtually the same horsepower. Liquid cooled.
Good point, I think.
The county has one, it's a few years older, it's a few years old, and it's been a good mower for them, so.
What's the number on your what?
14, it's either 1435 or 1445.
I move that we accept Tri-County bid.
Second.
Who did that? Don? Okay, second by Don, any further discussion? Seeing none?
Nope.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried unanimous, and it's budgeted item for 2014.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. 13E, Joe, request to advertise for proposal for demolition of certain houses, 3 of them. in your area.
We just prepare an RFP, bring that back as quotes. Council will have the ability at that time to either accept or reject any or all of them. At least will give you an idea as to what the actual cost is for demolished homes. And in this case, we have a order on all 3 of these to have it demolished.
All three.
How many people out there actually do this? How many responses do you expect to get?
Give us a bid, mean or quote?
Yeah, give us a bit.
I'm anticipating sending the information out to a minimum of 4 different places.
We're gonna get 2.
And it's just,
Hopefully it's more than
it's
one.
just gonna depend on what's in the houses as far as the bid goes. So I know we got rid of one in our church, and I want to say that was between 10 and 15,000, I think.
Is there asbestos in it?
Yep.
Yeah.
The test and then the asbestos, getting rid of the asbestos,
Have
so.
we done that asbestos thing yet?
Okay, so that's all the way already or not?
You know,
So that's gonna be part of the deal.
correct,
You're gonna have to do that, they know that.
that'll be in the request for proposal.
Do you have a time frame on this, Joe?
I'm hoping within 30 to 60 days.
Okay, that's okay, that's fine.
Awesome.
So.
So, second you. Okay, second by Josh, any further discussion? Let me get the batteries. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried unanimous. Just a second. Don,
I had an individual approach me yesterday, when you come out of going into the Humane Society, you get the blacktop there in front of the concrete company. They said, looking towards the south, it's hard to see oncoming traffic coming across the tracks due to the overgrowth of grass or something. Could we take a look at that and either, I don't know whose property, if it's our property or
Union Pacific,
some,
anything else, Don?
oh, that's it.
Paul?
No.
Steve?
No.
Joseph? Yesterday, we had coffee, or 14 people here, Don was here with us, public access, we got a compliment on the public access working better, that people can hear it better on the council meeting on the TV. Street department got a compliment for excellent job of street patching that you've been out doing. Tree trimming was discussed, we told them it's ongoing in the fall after some of the other stuff is caught up, both the electrical department, street department are out doing that. There's a question on the small cities grant process. The city received $1,063,694 in small city grants over the past 7 years. And it was, do you want to explain it, Molly, a little bit, that we're into it, and you can't do the next one until
Right,
one's closed, excuse me.
that's right. We had one in 2007, and then we were awarded again in 2010. So what ends up happening is it's a process. There's about a year, maybe even more than a year involved in the application. By the time you're awarded the application, it takes 2 to 3 years to administer, plus the 3 or 4 year window depending on how it works. So, as I mentioned, 2007 we had the first small cities. You may recall that one helped us demolish the Boston, helped us do some downtown commercial property fix up. We did some rentals and we did a whole slug of owner occupied housing fix ups. Fast forward to 2010 in the application that was prepared. At that particular point, we were interested in applying for owner occupied funding and commercial funding. However, you may recall that our commercial piece was, we were advised not to apply on the commercial end of things because at that time, the federal government wasn't handing out a lot of commercial funding.
And we wouldn't have gotten funded, so we took it out so we could get funded for the residential portion.
That's right. So right now, we are knee deep in, and you probably saw in your council packet the update as to how those funds are being distributed. They're very popular in that there's a whole bunch of owner occupied houses that are under rehab or have been done. And we actually, what the housing partnership tells me is they have a long waiting list of people for owner occupied funding. So does that summarize what you're getting at?
Very good, yep, Denise, so thank you. And then the hospital was brought up about how we maybe should have tried to save it instead of now we need to haul it away. And that was it Iowa Community College, what was the name of that?
Souls Harbor Baptist College.
Yeah, okay, and there was inaccurate information. It wasn't that we weren't doing anything, we offered to sell that to them for $1, we offered to give them money in addition to that to fix up the building, and the commitment was not made by the Baptist College to come here, so it's nothing to do with the city. We did everything we could do possibly, as well as offer money in addition to giving in the property for $1. So there was inaccurate information. I think we got that clarified yesterday, I'm saying down to them. Let me see, business district, the numbers on the sidewalk, deal with the vendors interested in addressing the gaps in the concrete. We had a company come in to meet our ADA requirements, which means American Disabilities Act. So you see numbers on all the sidewalks because they went around and gave us a free estimate for what it would be required to bring into compliance with ADA, which is it 1/8 inch? And between less than a quarter inch off, you have to get it to mud jacket to have the sidewalks to be in compliance. It was $7,000 to $8,000 to do that, so, but it was, that's what the estimate is. So if people are wondering about all these numbers on the sidewalks, that's what it's from. For Railroad Days, businesses and team together, and they do a bunch of in-house specials. You see stuff out on the sidewalk that come in for Railroad Days, so please visit our businesses during Railroad Days. The intern program, internship, you wanna talk about that a little bit? Holly?
Sure, Linda has an intern here at the community building, who, I'll let you tell about what he's doing, but, the internship program in general, all the jobs out in the community, right now there's 9 of them. The EDA actually applied for some grant dollars through the St. James Area Foundation to be able to place these interns in our local businesses. We saw some huge success with it back when we did it in 2008 or 2009. In that the goal being, we want to raise awareness for our local students because they're the ones who most likely would come back and start businesses. They may be our future workforce. So this gives us an opportunity to kind of get a jump start on that. And we did see some success with the program last time. So here we go again. We're hoping to we've got the interns placed, so we're hoping to see some more success. And Linda has one intern here, and she can tell you what he's doing to help the theater.
We have Jonathan Peterson, and he's an intern, and he's doing ads for local businesses at a reasonable price. If you remember, we had Better One Business that was doing ads, and I thought it was way outlandishly priced. So we're starting at ground zero. We're figuring out how much it's gonna cost to do the ads, how much we can give the businesses, how much is gonna be required to make this all work. And once Jonathan gets this going, then we can continue hopefully, but we'll see how it works. So yesterday he brought his ads. He did one for the liquor store, the campground, theater, and the swimming pool, and then with a few little trivias and stuff. And last night, Monday night, we played it for the first time on the screens. We had some of his friends here, and it was kind of fun to watch them praise him for what he'd done. So that was kind of cool. So if you know anybody that wants to do something like that, they can contact Jonathan here at the community building.
Very good. And we have an EDA apartment for rent. It's a 2-story, 3-bedroom, Molly, on 4th Avenue North, $660 per month, available immediately.
Correct.
So call Molly at City Hall if you're interested in that, 375-1289. She'll be happy to tour you through it. The water tower is all done and clean, Mark, finished? Okay.
Correct, it is.
Okay, enjoy the Railroad Days event, our parade is 6 p.m. on Saturday. It's over $15,000 for that parade, so please support all of the folks for that for community parade, Railroad Days. Thanks to the Stray Cat again for free coffee and Linda for chocolate chip cookies. Steve?
No.
Great.
Our campground shelter is almost complete. We're waiting on the electrician now to finish wiring.
That's gorgeous. It's absolutely.
we got some
unbelievable. If you haven't seen it, go
landscaping.
look at it.
We've got some landscaping to do and we have a sidewalk to build to the road, so.
Looks great, Ray. Kenny Carlson and
Thanks,
Aaron
Chris. You did an
built it.
We did an excellent job.
Yeah, and finished it on Friday and Saturday morning. If you drove by there, there was a tree within 10 feet
Yeah.
that fell over. A huge tree this big, within 10 feet of the new building. Falling over, good thing your insurance is in effect. Mark?
No.
Adam, lavishly colored shoes cook. You again amaze us with your excellent choice again tonight. So Linda, look at the shoes. Anything, Adam? You're welcome.
Thank you.
Linda?
Okay, the movie for this weekend is Monsters University. It is rated G. We will not have a movie on Saturday night because of the parade, but we will have a matinee in the morning at 10 o'clock. And just before, so the kids can go straight from the movie down to the toys, and everybody comes to the movie. It's rated G.
Thanks, Linda Molly. And again, our compost site is Mondays 4 to 7, Wednesdays, new hours, 4 to 7, and Friday, Saturday 8 to 12 and 1 to 5. Extra day this week, so remember that. Thanks everyone for attending, and please enjoy the Railroad Days event. Motion to adjourn. Donnie and Josh, thanks everyone for attending.